welcome to Sports Betting Illuminated, where we play with the house and not against it. Hello everyone who's here bright and early. DJ Ray, thank you so much for putting my links in the chat. Hello Chuck Science, David, you got the front row tickets. You are here bright and early. It is so wonderful seeing you. Hey Ken, good morning. Tyler, I hope you guys are having a lovely morning. Thank you so much for starting your Saturday with me. I am here right now. I already had my coffee for the morning, so I'm feeling that little burst of energy. And I'm sitting here with, I guess my brunch drink, a little bit of a lemonade mimosa, pink lemonade mimosa kind of thing. Hello, Derek. It's so nice seeing you here this morning. Bright and early. It is so nice being back with you all. Obviously, I didn't have a show on Tuesday. And that is because I was off at Saratoga, you know, enjoying some time at Lake George. And of course, on Wednesday, I was at the track. I was cashing my exactas, and it was a lot of fun. But oh my God, when I got there, there were no racing forms to be found anywhere. I looked at, you know, the lady, and she's like, no, none of us have any, and the entire place is pretty much sold out. And I'm like, oh my God, like, I know attendance is up at Saratoga, but I wasn't expecting it to be that crazy. I mean, so I'm like looking on my app, like, who am I gonna bet on today? Observing the horses, trying to see like who's going to really go out there and perform today. And it was just so fun being out there with the crowds. I was wearing my cute little dress and heels, and everyone was all dressed up, but a lot of people were casual too, and I thought that was cool as well. Like, no matter where you come from, you could come out, you can enjoy the races, whatever you want, whatever feels comfortable for you, because it was a hot day and there is a lot of walking. That is for sure. I know, that was a major surprise to me, especially at such a big track like Saratoga. Everyone is going up there, and you know, I mean, over the next, you know, few weeks, I mean, you know, I mean, this is really the time of year where everyone is at Saratoga. And I mean, truthfully, like, you have a lot of people spending a lot of money on these races and on the horses and on winning, and yeah, just to not have like available programs, like, what is going on? Can't you guys just like run into the back office or something? Like, don't you have a printer and just, you know, print off another 3,000? Like, is it, I don't know. That's how I guess I would run things if it was my business, but it's not. Hey Super Pro, how are you doing? It's so nice seeing you guys here this morning. But yeah, after that, I did a little bit of shopping. Shopping till I dropped, truthfully. Actually, it was so much fun. I was kind of craving that. This was like one of the little dresses I got. So cute, from Aritzia. And yeah, just like, so much fun being out in New York. Just want to give you guys a little look. What do you think? But yeah, it was nice being out there shopping. I got some shoes, but I'll show that to you guys, like, probably on Snapchat or something later. I don't have them on me right now, but I just thought this little dress was like super cute, and yeah, found a lot of adorable little things there. So it was fun being at Saratoga, going shopping, and just being in New York in general, going shopping. It's like one of my favorite things to do. Good morning, Knowles. So nice seeing you. And thanks so much, Super Pro. Thanks, David. So glad you like this little look. I thought it was just the cutest, to be honest. Like, it just fit perfectly. And yeah, it's like a little nice going out dress, but also something a little cute for the daytime too. I don't know. Alrighty. So that was fun. I have a lot more to show you guys, so make sure to go to arielcalista.com, join all my social medias, sign up for the daily report. All my social links are in there, and yeah, follow along. Alrighty. So I just want to go over our current ROIs before we get started. We have been crushing it in baseball. WNBA has been treating us really, really well. Tyler, too. Congratulations. And right now, our current Major League Baseball ROI is sitting at 42.9%. Let me repeat that. 42.9%. That is our return on investment. You don't see that anywhere, right? Like, that is a crazy high ROI. So we've been really, really profitable this season. We're sitting at a 68.8% win rate, and so far we've played 224 units. So yes, we have been getting those plus money plays. We have been, locking in, those ladders, and especially on the totals this baseball season, we've been doing really, really well. But run lines too, even though there just hasn't been, as much opportunity to play run lines because it's just been a little weird this year. I mean, the sports books are catching on, and they're realizing people are winning a little too much over here. We we don't like that. Oh yes, I feel that. Thank you so much, Chuck Science. Even traveling, yeah, we've still been on top of it and still crushing it, even though I've been sending out the morning report. It's daily report. I don't really spend it out in the mornings, but I've been sending a daily report out at various times, various hours, yet we've still been crushing it with these plays. So that just shows like the strategy of playing with the house is extraordinarily strong, even when you're in environments where you can't really put the time and, the full focus that you need to really like dig into sports handicapping. So I was a little more selective with my plays, of course, because I had a lot going on. But, that's also part of being a professional is like realizing when you don't have the time. And then, when you really do lock in and focus, make sure you find the right spots. And that's what we did over this past week. We limited ourselves. We really found the right spots and we did a lot of winning. So I love it. Thanks so much, Super Pro. I love all these emotes over on Rumble, like floating around the screen here. I have a lot of fun emotes over there. And also, if you become a subscriber on Rumble, you could unlock access to all these VIP emotes. So that's kind of cool. I think I'll be able to have access to that on YouTube once I hit 500 subscribers. And we are almost there, but we still have a little bit of a ways to go. But we're almost there. We're getting there, guys. So tell your friends, tell your family, share the stream. And now let's talk about our WNBA ROI. Women's basketball, we are sitting at a 37.6% ROI, and we have so far played 63 units this season, and our win rate is sitting at 71.4%. That is our win rate in the WNBA so far. So just illuminating for you guys once more, even though you've probably heard me talk about this 100 times, is just how important it is to track your ROI. A lot of people out there only like to post their win rates. As you can see, like in the WNBA, we have a higher win rate than our ROI, like comparatively to the Major League Baseball. Like in the WNBA, we have a 71% win rate, but our ROI is slightly lower. Versus Major League Baseball, we have a 68.8% win rate, but our ROI is higher. It's almost at 43%. So, you have to take these factors into consideration when you're observing other handicappers out there and when you're on social media and people are just throwing out their picks or the people are throwing out their win rate, but they're only telling you about the last 4 games they played. Like, that's Come on, let's look at the big picture here. How you doing over a series of 30 games, and also what is your ROI? Because that's really important versus the win rate. A lot of people like to talk about that, but ROI is really, really where it's at. So just make sure, you're cognizant of that as you're looking at people out there on social media, a lot of like wannabe handicappers, kind of rely on these tactics to mislead people. And I just don't want you guys getting scammed. All right, now before we get started, I am going to sit back, relax, and get my mind right because we have a lot of games that we are looking at today. But before I get started, I am going to be enjoying some Mango Sapphire. This is a very unique strain name. When I saw it, it is an indica leaning hybrid. It has that like fruity mango sweetness. It's like tropical, maybe a little hint of coconut, some earthy pine in there. But just a very like smooth, happy, giddy, euphoric kind of feeling. So it's uplifting. So yeah, let's get our minds right to win some wagers. Oh, whoa, that is some strong stuff. Wow. That is good. Yeah, whoa. I like this one. Mango Sapphire. Cheers. Alrighty. Let's dive into some games. Hell yeah. Definitely feel like my mind's right to win some wagers right now. You need your own package. Already smoke. I already have my own package. Where do my flyers go? I can't find them right now, but you guys saw them last week. My new brands that I'm just kind of soft launching right now. Like just telling people about it. Hornyweed.com. Go there, check it out. And I think it's a little different than what other people are doing in the cannabis industry because it's like blending actual smokable alkaloids and herbs versus, just relying on cannabinoids. And terpenes are very important, but a lot of terpenes get burnt up really fast. And I just think a lot of people are suspicious, when they see a cannabis package and it says, oh, energy or, oh, sex. Like, because oftentimes it doesn't really work, but when you combine your smoke with the right herbs and alkaloids, you could really have some potent, powerful effects that you might not just get with weed alone. So, yeah, I'm excited to teach people about that. All right. Yeah, cannabis time, waking and bacon. Let's get started with some WNBA. So I don't have a play in the Sky versus Fever game right now. That is at 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern, but Tyler, if you have anything, feel free to throw it in the chat. The Sparks are playing the Valkyries at 8:30, so I mean, come on, WNBA, why are we always scheduling these games at the same exact time? Oh well, that's okay. The Sparks opened up at -1.5. Then it moved to -4. But, the money has been very, very interesting here. There's a lot of square money powering this right now. I've seen the money flip pretty early in this Golden State Los Angeles game. Early on there was a lot of money on Los Angeles and then it flipped to LA. So Or no, yeah, no, it started on LA. I mean, that's what I'm trying to say. It started on LA and then it flipped to Golden State. So it seems like a lot of Square money has started coming in here. The Sharps came in early and pushed this, and the squares just started flooding in here. But obviously, the line is moving in the right direction for the Sparks. So keep your eye on this one. I don't have like a play right now at this moment, but it is a pretty strong push for the Sparks, and the sharp money was there early. So something to consider, especially now that so much money is coming in on Golden State. And it's like looking like a lot of Square money as well. So the money is flip-flopping a little bit. So that's pretty interesting. You know, something to keep your eye on. Remember, this is an 8:30 p.m. Eastern game, so plenty of time until game time. Of course, anything could happen, but it does look like, you know, this was a strong initial push, like from the sports books, like moving with the sharp money initially, and then the squares came in, flipped the money, and started pushing it in the direction of Golden State. But Vegas is still holding this line at -4. So interesting. Yeah, definitely interesting. You know, let's see, is Vegas going to keep holding this line at, you know, Sparks -4, or are they going to start moving in their direction? I don't think they're going to move it in the direction of the Square money, but they might even decide to take even a bigger position against the squares. I don't know. There's a lot of Square money, a lot of variables going on here in this game. So, ooh. I think it will go over today? Let me take a look at that. You know what I always say, like, you know, it's not predicted, like yesterday's games, even like games that are in a double header, like it's not always predictive of the next game. But the sports books do have predictive models which can help determine that. So let's take a look and dive in. Yeah, exactly. Flip-flopping is a little crazy like that. Good morning, Spencer. Thanks so much for joining me this morning. So nice seeing all of you here. I hope you guys are having a great morning. I can't wait to win with all of you. I am drinking my mimosa. Feeling really good. I already had my coffee. All right, so let's dive into this. Because you were asking about this game, Giants versus Nationals, and I want to refresh some numbers here, see what is going on. And of course, everyone else, if you have games you would like me to look at, just feel free to throw it in the chat and we'll look together. We'll break down some of these game lines, and just remember, this is all happening in real time, so just need a little bit of a moment to just see if there's anything else going on here. Okay, so this opened over a -115. I do see a bit of money coming in on this. Some spots have already moved this to over 8.5 -115, but some spots are still holding this at over 8 -115. Though it does seem like the money is starting to grow on the over here. Let me check, see what else. See what's going on at some other sports books and where the money is going. All right, so it looks like some spots have even moved this to 8.5 even money. So it really depends on where you are shopping, line shopping. Other places are holding us over 8 -120. But, you know, I'm not seeing anything super strong in terms of money on this game. I would like to see a little bit more on the over, and I would like to see a little bit of a stronger push, but it does seem like it's starting to creep towards the over, like very so slightly right now. So yeah, that's something to keep your eye on. Definitely that over. Uh, yeah, I'd keep my eye on it just because a lot of like established spots have already moved it to over 8.5, and it did open over 8. But other spots are just they're holding it there, or maybe they're just kind of, you know, shading the line a little bit. So it is starting to move. It is starting to move. Let's look at this Astros Yankees game. This is the early game at 2 o'clock p.m. Eastern. I didn't see anything in this Marlins Braves game earlier, but this Yankees money line is just something I've been watching. Obviously, like, uh, you know, so you like the under and the Yankees, and you saw this. It opened up at 7.5 and went up to 8. Let me take a look at this and see what's going on here with the total. Yeah, I mean, I see a lot of spots just open it up at over 8 minus 110. That's the opening line that I have right now. Over 8 minus 110 is where it opened up. Some spots have already moved it to over 8.5 minus 105. Other spots are holding it over 8 minus 110. It's kind of interesting. Like a lot of these like sports books, like established ones, like some have slightly moved it, you know, but other ones are just holding it right there. I do see a lot of money on the over. A lot of money. So I would be, I don't know, I'd be a little more cautious about this one. Um, I just don't really think, I mean, at this point, I don't really see like a play yet, just because it seems like the sports books really like this number, this total, and it just seems to be like they just seem to really be holding this where it's at right now. But looking at this money line for the Yankees, you know, it does seem to be moving in the right direction. And, you know, like I said, you know, games of yesterday aren't always like predictive of the game today. And I've seen this money line also go from plus 105 to minus 110. So that was a pretty interesting move on the money line, especially because it was on mixed money. And there was a little bit of pro money coming in there. I did see some sharps jumping in on the Yankees money line. So you can't trust it. I would say at this point, just because I've seen it move from plus 105 to minus 110, you know, and remembering that, you know, like just because just because you have a bad game, you know, doesn't mean that today's going to be a bad day. It's a great day to have a great day, right? And I think this is starting to move in the right direction for the Yankees money line. This is a little bit more borderline action play for me at this moment, but there is some mixed pro money in here. It's sitting at minus 110 right now after it opened up as like they opened up as the underdog at plus 105. So, you know, seeing this line move and seeing the sharps jump in here does make me stop and think. I do want to keep my eye on this, especially because it's a 2 o'clock game, so this is moving pretty fast. O's over. Okay, let's take a look at this. I haven't really seen anything earlier, but let me take a look now. See if anything has developed. And also something about these morning shows is like these lines do develop a little bit slower, so things can change. It opened up over 10 minus 115. So a really high total sitting over 9 minus 130. Some spots have it over 9.5, even money. So this was a really high total that it looks like the sports books have dropped this, but I'm not seeing strong money in either direction right now. So I think the sports books are adjusting this line. I think they might have realized they set this a little bit too high because it's not really like, it's not really the money that's moving this line. There is in some spots, you know, a bit of money on the over, but the line's moving in the opposite direction. So that's interesting to me. And in this case, I would probably stay away or maybe even take an under, but I don't know. I think the sportsbook originally just set this line too high and, you know, wanted to readjust this because it's a lot of mixed money in here. And there is some over money, but they do seem to be going against the over money at this moment. So something, yeah, something to watch out for. I don't really have a play there at the moment. All right, so I'm gonna do another bong hit and let's talk about preseason football. Have you guys been watching the games, enjoying them? What do you guys think? Following any players? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Like, I'd love to hear. Seriously, what are your thoughts? Regular season will be coming up soon, which I'm excited for. You guys already know, though, I don't bet on preseason, but a lot of people do. So I wanted to talk about that in today's 2-minute drill, except it's just me talking about this. I don't have a video, but I did want to talk about, you know, why I don't bet it, but also look at some real statistics with you guys and see, like, is it profitable? You want to see how Travis is going to play? Yeah, let's see. Yeah, I mean, right now it's a lot of just like seeing, you know, watching and seeing how these star players are going to perform, and also watching these coaches as well. Like, what are their tactics going to look like their strategies? Sanders looked good last night. All right, let's talk about preseason football and why I don't bet on it. One of the reasons I don't bet on preseason football, well, first of all, it's a lot more volatile than regular season. Right now, a lot of these star players, like star players are not, you know, they're not playing as hard. They don't want to get injured. And that makes perfect sense. You know, these games really don't count, especially, you know, when an injury could last many months, and then that changes the whole dynamic of the team. Additionally, something to watch out for as a professional bettor is that your betting limits are significantly lower in the preseason. Like, it's, I mean, talk about like 10 to 20% of the regular season max limits. So the betting limits are a lot lower. And the bookmakers are very cautious here in the preseason because it's hard to model. There's a lot of variance. There's a lot of things that, you know, obviously they have the best models. They're pulling real-time data from the arenas. They, I mean, everything has an infrared sensor in it so that, you know, I mean, it's literally sending signals like 60 times a second, you know, where like everything that's going on the floor. But, you know, either way, like there's still going to be insider info and, you know, switch ups, and the sports books are just more cautious here because they don't want to lose the information battle to the bettors. Like, that's the worst thing that could happen. And sportsbooks, you know, make sure that they have the best information battle, the most information, and we're always going to be, you know, like fighting against asymmetric information when it comes to the sportsbooks. That's why my strategy of playing with the house actually works so well and has like established me into the professional handicapping community as, you know, truly a professional. And, you know, I mean, so the sports books, you know, they know that these odds can swing massively, and they're very cautious here, so they're limiting the bettors. Hey Ryan, happy Saturday. It's so nice seeing you here. Oh, thank you, Super Pro. I love seeing all these hearts flying across the screen. It just like matches everything. I feel like I have a little pop of red behind me, and the little hearts all over. It just works. It works. All right. Um, so like I said, these preseason games, the motivation of these teams is a little bit unclear. These coaches are evaluating the players. They care more about evaluation versus winning. I mean, of course they care about winning. They're always going to want to win. That's like hardwired into their brain. But they're also really looking at the players and, evaluating them appropriately. So, there is some, experimental rotations and, play calling and just, things that they wouldn't normally do in a regular season, like, maybe risks that they wouldn't normally take. Yeah, a lot of these guys playing preseason, and it's important to know, why it's so hard betting on preseason. I mean, it's fun watching the games. I love for people to be fans. And, ultimately, at the end of the day, I believe each and every single one of us, like, we all work hard for our money. I don't want to see you lose it, have just like meaningless losses over, something, something that's so unpredictable when, it is possible to win at the sports books and be profitable. And that's what I want for every single one of you out there, is to win and to become a professional handicapper as well. And that's my goal for all of you. Play with the house. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And like the unpredictability of it, like all of these games, like you have to lose. I lose. I mean, everyone loses. The best handicappers in the world lose. It's just part of the game. Exactly. Only bet what you can actually afford to lose, and bet responsibly. Like a lot of people don't teach that out there, but that is key. Like only play with what you can afford to lose, because you could have the best bet in the world. I mean, a lot of people out there, they might play only minus 500 favorites, but if you're not winning literally 10 out of 10 times, like you're losing your shirt out there. And like even that, is unpredictable, because it's like even a favorite like that big is not going to always come through for you. So, make sure you manage your money properly, and make sure you also manage your bets responsibly. That's part of it as well. So, and horse racing is called bridge jumpers, and I don't want anyone to become that in the sports betting world. And I wanted to talk about another big myth in preseason football. So this is an old betting adage. Maybe you guys heard it before, but it's basically saying if you bet on a team that lost week one versus the team that won week one, this is going to be an edge. But when you start looking at the statistics of this, there is no edge here. Hey, optimistic realizer, nice seeing you. That is that is a long username. What's a good percentage of your money pool on a bet? Oh, that is a good question. I guess I would need to know a little bit more specifics, like about how you bet, your frequency, things like that. I believe you could go up gradually, like increase your unit size gradually, and especially like when when you've shown that you have a proven strategy over time and you've tested yourself, then of course, it only makes sense to start increasing your bet size gradually. But I would say, really make sure you have your strategy down, that you're tracking yourself, that you're creating a thoughtful analysis, writing your thoughts, after you place a bet, why you placed a bet, why you liked it, and just keeping track of yourself and your ROI. That's a really good place to start. And then, when it comes to seeing like you have a proven strategy, then start increasing your bet sizes. But like I am a very infrequent bettor. So for me, I would rather play, larger units on fewer games versus, playing a bunch of different games with, small unit sizes. So I'm a little more selective there, but, that's personally how I do it. Oh, wow. All right. You got the Orioles plus 200. Oh, no. Uh, yeah, picking underdogs is fun sometimes. Sometimes it's a hit, sometimes it's a miss, and that's part of the gambling. Yeah, absolutely. All right, so just remember the whole like, if they remember just when it comes to myths about preseason football, the whole if they lost in week 1, then they're gonna win in week 2. That's kind of the same thing we hear in baseball all the time. Like, if they lost the first game of the doubleheader, then they're gonna win the second. Like, this is just when it comes to like true statistics. It's just not proven. It's a great saying. It's a wonderful way of thinking and hoping, but it just doesn't really come down to it when you apply the data. And let's talk about like even correlation to the regular season. Like, does the preseason correlate to the regular season? And looking at the numbers here, the preseason win percentage versus the regular season win percentage is 0.0944. That is almost no correlation. That is very, very weak correlation. So, yeah, I mean, I would say there's almost no correlation between the preseason and the regular season. Hey, Super James, it's so nice seeing you here. I think you're gonna love this little statistical dive that we're doing. But yeah, no correlation. The preseason wins, regular season wins, 0.094, very weak. All right, so I mean, even just looking at, these championship teams, so only 6 had winning preseason records. Crazy, right? And then only 2 out of these 6 teams who had winning preseason records actually went on to go and win the Super Bowl. And then, 14 teams with, even, or worse preseason records, they still made conference championships. And for example, look at the 2010 Bears. They had 0 preseason wins. But yeah, they were playing at the Super Bowl. So it's kind of crazy. And another very common myth that people talk about in the preseason is, that starters are going to often play into the third quarter, but the public overvalues this like crazy. This really does have the predictive power of a coin flip. So just remember when you start analyzing all of this, hey Chris, I have been smoking a really good strain. We did just do a bong hit before I got into statistics, but that's the fun of it, right? Why do it when you can't get a little high? Or I'm also drinking mimosa, so I'm having a good brunch. Yeah, it's true. A lot of teams, thanks so much for the hearts, everyone. A lot of teams, yeah, they don't want their star players getting injured in the preseason, especially when the games don't really matter. And then you see all of these statistics and it's like, okay, so now we actually applied the numbers to it, and we realize these myths are false. The preseason has almost no correlation to determine the regular season. But the preseason is fun to watch and fun to enjoy, and it does get us thinking about the regular season. And if you like futures, I'm sure, like playing futures, I'm sure a lot of you are looking into that right now, trying to see where you could find some value. I don't personally do that. I like to stay away from that because I'm not gonna let the sports book hold my money all year. Like, what? um, but you know what? If you like to do it, good for you. You know, preseason is fun and it's fun to watch, but truly it doesn't have a lot of predictive power over the regular season. And you could basically win 0 preseason games and still make it to the Super Bowl. So just some fun facts to throw out there for you guys. And cheers. So yeah, when you're making your bets this preseason, just be careful, you know, be cautious, and remember, like, have fun. Don't bet anything that you can't afford to lose. This is just for fun. This is very volatile. The sports books know that. That's why they even cap a lot of people, like a lot of bettors. It is a good strain. I am loving this mango sapphire. Cheers to some good bets. Alrighty, let's look at some more baseball for today. The Reds are playing the Pirates at 6:40 p.m. Eastern. I've been watching this Pirates money line. It went from plus 105 to minus 109 on some Reds money, but there are some Joes on the Pirates right now. It's just very interesting. Yeah, thanks for breaking that down for everyone. Check Science coming through with the facts on the bankroll question. He's absolutely right. Even if you have a 65% win rate, 1,000 bet season, you still have a 48% chance of losing 7 games straight. It's true. It's just variance, and it happens to everybody. I mean, that was what Jeff Fogel and I were talking about in our collaborative article together, where I did some modeling for him using some code, writing some Python, and but yeah, you have to be careful when it comes to your bankroll, for sure. The Reds don't like me. They don't. No, but they should. Look at my outfit. Yeah, but you know what? It happens sometimes. It happens. So I would say right now, I would watch this money line. Keep your eye on this because it is moving in the right direction for the Pirates. But with all the Joes in the mix, I'm just kind of staying away from it a little bit. The under, though, went from under 8.5 minus 110 to under 8 minus 106 on mixed money. So it is interesting that the sportsbook is moving this total lower and lower, and it's on mixed money. So that's pretty interesting, seeing how it's moving. Thanks so much. I went shopping when I was in Saratoga. So got this little outfit. I'll just stand up and show you guys. I know a lot of people didn't get a chance to see it earlier, but it's so cute. My little look, like, I'm loving it. Had to go shopping, got some new shoes, got some new outfits. Yeah, this girl likes to shop. Can you tell? I think you guys can tell because, man, when I was making those TikToks every day with my outfits, I would hear from you guys all the time, like, your outfits are always so on point. I love that, though. Like, honestly, I just think, like, I don't know, I started dressing up one day. I got the nickname Ari Ferrari at the office, and then the next day I decided to come in and embody Ari Ferrari, and ever since then, yeah, everything's just elevated from there. Oh no, new triple sides closet. Yes, the replay will be fun. Thank you so much. I'm so glad you guys are liking the outfits. Yeah, I think the under here is definitely probably the best bet at this moment. Yeah, it went from under 8.5 to under 8. It's moving pretty strong on mixed money, so not like a lot of Joes on this. All the Joes are on the money line, and all the Joes are on the spread. We're avoiding the Joes, and we're just gonna maybe have an action play on this under here in this Reds Pirates game. So I like how it's moving. I like that it's moving on mixed money, and you know what I say? Play with the house, and the house is saying we're just gonna adjust this line a little bit, bring it down. It's looking like an underplay. All right, another total that I'm seeing that I really like is in this Royals Twins game. This is a 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern game, and this opened over 8.5, minus 110. Then it went to over 8.5, minus 120. There is level 3 money on the over right now. And the sportsbook is moving the line over. So this is looking like a nice little overplay. Yeah, I like it. I like how this line is moving. I like that the, money is moving with it, and everything seems to be going in the right direction here. So I like that a lot. This over in this Royals Twins game is looking really good, and honestly, strong money. Seriously, level 3 money already here. So I like to see that. I like to see that develop. The line moving right with it. Thank you so much, Spencer. Oh yeah, the Rumble chats. You know what? I noticed like I am having a little bit of a lag on my chat today. I will try to fix that before the next show. There is some stuff I want to explore, like new chat features, like maybe even plugging in like an RE AI to help answer questions. I don't know. What do you guys think about that? Just like I thought, throwing it out there. Thanks, Super Fro. So I do like this over in this Royals Twins game. It's looking really good. And I think it is time for another cannabis break. What do you guys say? Cannabis break. All right. Yeah, I've been loving this sapphire mango sapphire. Oh gosh, I definitely must be high. I'm like, what's the name of it? All right. Just a little bit AI. Half AI, half RE, right? So I wanted to tell you guys a little bit more about my story driving through New York. I have been eating a lot of my edibles from the Champ Show and trying new samples, of course getting in new products. But I'm in New York. I'm like, you know what? Last time I was here, like the dispensaries are like completely unlike Vegas dispensaries. Like they basically just let you walk right through the door. Like they don't even care. In Vegas, it's like you have to go through one door, which is locked, with an armed guard, and they have to buzz you in. And like literally there's a dude with a gun looking at you as you're just trying to walk in and get weed. Like as someone who's high, it's also it's very like unsettling. So then, you walk in through another door, and that's also like locked and like heavy bulletproof glass and all of that, right? So then when you get through the second door, then they take your ID, and then sometimes you even have to like really like wait in a line, and it's just, they make it so hard. Like, but in New York, they're just like, come right on in, like everyone can walk in, the whole world can walk in. So, I'm also in the hemp industry too, and I'm like, I'm just gonna go like to the local smoke shop and you know, see like what edibles they have here. There is this New York brand that I personally really like. I think they have a great product, but trying to like work with this company has been a little like challenging of just like trying to get a hold of them. But I was like, okay, they're up here in New York, like I'm gonna go in a smoke shop, I'm probably gonna see their edibles here, like great. I mean, I know they're also dispensaries too, but can't you be in both? Of course, right? Like that just makes sense. um yeah, no, literally, like it is a little unsettling, like especially when you're just trying to like go in and get some weed. That's great. That is great, Brian. Like you just walk in and it's like, hey dude, what's up? I already know your name. I already know your order. I love that. No, but in Vegas, it's like, whoa, this is like a little scary. But I mean, I understand, like, you know, it's the law. You have to like follow all these restrictions and, you know, whatever. So you could keep having a license in your state. But I went into a smoke shop and I was like, okay, where are your edibles? Like, I'll just get some edibles here. And they were like, oh, New York basically bans all of these Delta 8, Delta 9, like any cannabinoid that will get you high. They didn't have like HHC, like nothing like that. None of those like cannabinoid edibles. Like all they could sell was literally just CBD. And they basically banned all intoxicating cannabinoids, so like it's forcing the public to go into dispensaries, and of course like pay the state taxes, like do that whole thing, which, you know, that's of course what the state is trying to make you do. It's not really like about the weed. We all know that. But the guy there was so cool working behind a counter. He was just like obviously like a true stoner, right? And he was like, look, like we're not allowed to sell, you know, intoxicating edibles here. Like this was a law. We had to clear everything out of our store. But, you know, I'm about to lock up and I know this little old lady who like makes all of these edibles, little grandma over here, and just wait for a few minutes in the parking lot, I'll get them for you. And you know, granted, of course, you should not like just go and get strangers edibles, like obviously, but I for whatever reason, I was like, this guy's a real stoner. Like, I don't think he's bullshitting me, and you know, like, so. Literally got grandma's edibles, like of course befriended the guy, Swami, like really cool person, you know, true stoner at heart, who's just like anti-corporate America, and gave me grandma's edibles, and I'm like, oh my god, I relate, because in Vegas it's like all the little old ladies and like, you know, my friends, and you know, like everyone's making their weed butter at home and making their own edibles and sharing it with the community, and that's kind of what I'm used to. And it's like the real weed economy is still powered by like the locals, the people who are still growing it at their homes, like in their backyards, like people like me that, you know, don't want to really be a part of this whole corporate America, like, you know, dispensary thing, when truthfully, like, weed is weed. It's a plant. Like, there's no reason we can't grow massive amounts of cannabis and share it freely and recognize the actual benefits of it, like beyond just getting high, and like how powerful it is, like even without getting high. It's, oh yeah. She was an OG hippie, and you know what, like I remember that. Like I remember little grandmas in like my community growing up with it. You know, that are like the true OG hippies. And you know, even my own grandmother, when she had cancer, you know, like, and was going through radiation and chemo, like that was the first time when I was little, like she was taking some edibles to start eating again. And you know, like at the end of the day, like, and she was telling me, she's like, oh, when I was younger, you know, I went and was biking up the Buddha trail, like in India, like back when it first opened up to the public. Like she was one of the first people like inside in Nepal when it opened up, like as a travel agent. And like she was smoking like weed that, you know, a little doctor that she was with would just pick and roll up, and they were biking up the Buddha trail together. And I'm like, wow, like my grandmother was so cool. And it's really like the people that have been around, like, that know about these as like medicines, and I guess somehow, some way that information got lost upon people, because now you see places all over who've even legalized cannabis now trying to ban it, and you see, the governments, after we spent like billions of taxpayer dollars on research for it, decide to ignore all of that science. But truthfully, at the end of the day, like, the real stoner community has always been around. It's always going to be around, and it's because of people like that are just keeping it alive. Like, I got these edibles. I got 200 milligrams basically with like all these edibles. These ones are like 50 milligrams a piece for $30, like nothing, and they're homemade and they tasted great. And as soon as I opened it up and I smelled the weed in there, and it's like, yeah, this is the real deal. And there really is a real community behind cannabis where people just want the best for each other. And I mean, of course, I want everyone to be careful and safe out there. Like, stranger danger is real, but you also have to understand, like, the cannabis community is strong without regulation. Like, we don't need all of these laws and state controls and all of this, because it's a herb. It helps people, and like, I don't know, the little grandmothers of the world are growing it in their house, probably in their garden, and making their own weed butter and using it to help heal people all over the place, and I love that for them. So yeah, I'm gonna enjoy some cannabis. No, I didn't grow up in a commune, but I mean, even in Vegas, I know like a lot of my friends, like grandparents and things like that, would, enjoy cannabis every once in a while. And you know what? It's okay. Like, we need to stop treating it like such a drug. Oh my God. This morning I was watching TikTok and I saw, videos from Kensington, and that's downtown. Like, my office isn't too far from there. And it's like, there's so many worse things that we could be focusing our energies upon, like, and really helping people. But cannabis, why is cannabis always, the bad guy? I don't understand it. All right, let's talk about some more games. The Mets are facing off against the Brewers at 7:00 p.m. Eastern. And right now I have been watching this Mets money line. It went from plus 125 to plus 109 on some mixed pro money. So that is pretty interesting. Definitely moving. It's definitely moving, and I like seeing the mixed pro money in here, but it did seem to move back a little bit. I'm looking at it right now. It does seem like this Mets money line is sitting at, plus 105 in some spots. So yeah, I mean, oh no, it's moving in the right direction actually. Yeah, no, it's still moving in the right direction. Yeah, plus 125 to plus 109 to plus 105 right now. Definitely moving in the right direction. I do see one spot holding it at plus 115, but everywhere else has already adjusted it to plus 105. So I like it. Yeah, I like how this is moving. I like seeing some of the pro money here starting to pile in on the Mets. It's pretty interesting. I think so. I mean, this Mets money line is looking like it's developing pretty solidly. I would say this isn't quite a play for me at this moment, but it's going in the right direction, and there's a lot of pro money on it. So, I definitely like how this Mets money line is moving. Ooh, what would be my best play of the day? I would say probably the over and the Royals Twins. I like that just because there's so much strong money there and the line's moving in the right direction. So seeing that happen is feeling pretty solid. But I also like this over in this Mets Brewers game. Not quite as strong as the other. But it did open up at 8.5 even money, went to over 9 minus 101 with some over money. So starting to move, they moved it half a point, and we'll see. you know, I, I, I kind of like it right now, but it's not really developed to a level of play yet at this very moment. But we'll see. Starting to move over, but I still like that Royals Twins over the best. That is definitely my strongest play of the day. And another over that I am watching is this Blue Jays Dodgers over. This is a 9 p.m. Eastern game. It opened over 8.5, minus 105. Then it moved to minus 114 with level 1 money on over. But I am seeing a lot of Joe money on over, like a lot of Joe money on over. I'm just thinking the Joes are all over the over in this one, and I don't know, it's a little shakier for me at this point because there's just so many Joes on the over. But it's moving in that direction. I think Vegas is sort of just balancing, doing a little bit of a balance here, but it's starting to move. So keep your eye on this. I would like to see it move maybe a point and half a point. Really see where it goes. They're probably going to move this to over 9 soon because it's already sitting at minus 114. So I wouldn't be surprised to see that happen. But we'll keep our eye on this and just see how it moves. But those are all of my plays for today. If there are any other games that you would like me to analyze, feel free to throw them in the chat. Happy to do that live on air. I love seeing all of your thoughts on the preseason football. I like seeing all your opinions, asking me questions on big girl management, as well as, just everything. Seriously. So anything else you would like to ask about, feel free to throw it in the chat. And I just want to tell everyone here about my free daily report email. This email comes out every single day. I haven't missed a day in over 750 days. Not one. It's been going out, and I do the sports news of the day. I talk about that at the beginning, but it's not just like your typical, you're getting a sports rundown from ESPN or something. It's really fun. I try to find some interesting articles, interject my takes, as well as put in all of the line movements and how all these games are moving. And there's a key there at the bottom where I really show you guys the numbers and the symbols and how I analyze everything, so you could use it as a toolkit going forward. And then below that I have the coaching corner, or the health corner, the coaching corner, 2 little sections where I like to put in something to really improve your handicapping skills, something new in the sports wagering world, anything like that. And then the health corner, because if you're not healthy, you're not handicapping properly. All of that energy and stress is going into your body, and truly you need to think with a clear mind and have a precise strategy when you're handicapping, because if you have a lot going on in your life, a lot of stress, a lot of pain, then it really becomes hard to think clearly and make good decisions. So having that focus energy right there, all of it's right there in the morning report. And then of course at the bottom you get a little picture of me every single day. All of this is free, of course. Just go to arielcalista.com, click on the button that says stay in touch, and I would love to see you all there. Please tell your friends and your family about the email. I would love to see more people sign up and join it. It is almost football season, and you guys already know my NFL ROIs. They speak for themselves. So tell your friends, tell your family, because they don't want to miss this. Seriously. Some of these comments are coming in a little bit late. Oh, thank you so much, Super James. That was I love it. I love it. All right, those are all of my plays for today. Of course, I'm going to give you guys another look at this outfit one more time. because I went shopping. I was at Saratoga to races, hitting my exactas, cash in, cash in, cash in. And it was a whole lot of fun. Went shopping, had to get some cute little clothes and shoes. But you guys will see all of those very soon. So make sure to follow along. Subscribe if you haven't already. Give this video a big thumbs up. And I will see you all on Tuesday. Can't wait to see you there. Good luck on all of your wagers, everyone. And let's do some winning. Thanks again.